Hello, I've come to tell you a story all about a real bus called JJ the Supersonic Bus. It was an ordinary bus, and he was then turned into a very special play bus, and this is his story. It starts with JJ the Supersonic Bus, and he's old and he's tired, and he's been sent to a dirty, dusty scrapyard where he's going to end his days, and he's feeling very sad. The only thing that had happened recently had been some visits from some cheeky children who'd come to long play with him. And they'd pretended to be bus drivers as they raced up and down and using their imagination. But unfortunately, the man in the breaker's yard didn't think it was a good idea, and he sent them away with shouts of "too dangerous, it's not safe, don't play here." And JJ was then left alone with just the spiders spinning webs. But then one day along came 3 people who were looking for a special bus, and he wondered if they maybe were going to take him and break him apart. But no, they seemed to want all of him. And they picked out JJ and said, "We would like this bus." He didn't know where he was going, but he was surely going to be better than being in the scrapyard. It took a little while to get him going because he'd been sitting still for so long, but eventually he went out onto the busy roads. Along the busy road, purring loudly. He was having a great time with the warm diesel through his pipes, and he felt alive and excited until he came to some very important buildings. As the doors opened, they were full of lorries and aeroplanes inside. This must be an airport. It was Gatwick Airport. Now, he'd seen aeroplanes before, but when they're up in the sky, don't they look so small? But here, on the ground, they were enormous, and he was very scared. I don't think my bits are going to be any good for an aeroplane, he thinks. And then he hears someone call him a magic bus. A magic bus? What's so magic about me? As he listens, the men were talking about how he is going to be turned into a play bus, and he's going to go and help some children in a nearby town who've got nowhere safe to play. They take out all of his seats from upstairs and they throw them away, and downstairs and throw them away. Well, where will the children sit, he thinks. But this is the magic bit. He was not going to take them on a journey. They wouldn't need to sit on him. They would come along and play. Wow. Once they emptied it upstairs, there's a nice big area. Upstairs they put in a carpet and they filled the cupboards full of lovely toys that the children won't want to play with. And then downstairs they made an area where children could use paint and glue, all the messy things downstairs, even a sandpit too. You can't do that on an ordinary bus, can you? You can't play with the sand, and you can't paint on an ordinary bus. You have to sit still. And then they make the outside nice and bright and colourful so that when the children see him, they know he's different and they run along and want to look inside. He's so excited. He drives along the road beside the runway and he watches the aeroplanes roar along, lifting into the sky, and he wonders where they're off to. And he likes to try and jump up too, but unfortunately he's far too heavy. If only they'd put wings on me, he thinks. But with all of his toys, he'd be better off on the ground. And then they give him his new name because his number plate is JJK261. Now he's been given the very special name, Supersonic, just like the supersonic aeroplanes. Now he's ready to go and meet all the children, and when they see him, they are so excited, and so is he. He loves seeing how the children play inside and outside, and wherever the children see him, they run excitedly to see their play bus, and they love him. Here they are playing inside and outside. They love painting, and they love playing with the sand, and he doesn't mind getting paint all over him or the sand in the cracks. The children especially love the slide, climbing up onto the bonnet of the bus, and it reminded him of the children in the scrapyard all those months ago, and he thinks, "Oh, so glad that I don't have to go back there." But then, as children start going back to school, he knows that the number of children are going to finish, and he wonders if he's going to end up going back to the scrapyard I hope not, he thinks. And one day, a very special message comes, and it's a message from the Queen. He's been invited to Buckingham Palace, where he's going to be given a very special medal. Wow, me, he thinks. Is this true or is it just a dream? And he's so excited when he is given his medal. The news of the award is in all the newspapers, and all the children and all the families love coming to see the real JJ. When the older children go back to school, JJ heard that he is going to be given a new job, and he's going to be looking after the little children in the playgroup. The older children would never forget the fun they had thanks to JJ, nor would he forget them. But for now, a new adventure was going to begin. Do you know, JJ has a few more adventures, and maybe I'll tell you about those too.